So what is the economic impact of this pandemic on us? Millions of unemployed, businesses are on the brink of failure or have already succumbed to failure, and the general financial anguish we see every day. So Zach Cooper, a healthcare economist at Yale, says we're losing approximately $16 billion to $19 billion a day during this pandemic. According to the JAMA article, there's increased healthcare spending due to COVID-19, $34 billion to $500 billion on private insurance. There is between $7 billion and $30 billion in each additional spending for Medicare and Medicaid programs. So at the end of the day, the cost of treating a patient with COVID-19 is the smallest component of the economic burden of this pandemic. So this is where it gets more complicated. So according to a JAMA article I read, what comes first? Do you open up the economy so businesses can stay afloat and provide insurance to their employees to seek health care? Or do you keep them at home at the risk of losing their insurance, but you lower the risk of spreading the virus? This is the major issue our country is facing right now. But things we gotta remember is that the burden of this disease is disproportionately affecting the elderly and the poor. The biggest question that I'm asking everyone out there trying to find the answer for is, how do we balance the burden of the disease and associated costs with it, and how much are we willing to invest to prevent it? This is a pure economic question. One thing I know is that there will be no normal economy until the virus is contained. But if we can't contain the virus, there will be no semblance of a normal economy to return to. Why is this important to you? How do we view the money that we are spending? Do we see it as a cost or an investment? Do we invest money in people, resources, and time into increasing testing and taking every opportunity to prevent a resurgence of the coronavirus? Or do we see it as the cost of reopening the economy and having to treat people who unfortunately get sick? Do we put the health of the economy in front of the health of people? What should we be advocating for? In the end, one thing is clear. Our lack of knowledge regarding this virus is the greatest weakness in combat. Not knowing who has the virus, not knowing if we can get reinfected, not knowing how long immunity does last, and not having a vaccine. Although the economy and our bank accounts are hurting right now, I think the greatest and fastest way to recovery is through learning and acquiring more information about this disease and how it spreads into the community. We have to remember one thing: reopening this economy isn't going back and returning to life before Corona, but it's rather living in the presence of it.